So here's your Bitcoin chart. Bitcoin is basically flat on the day. Notice how you had this nice little curvature, and again, I've been dead on this chart as it was curving up. I do want to alert you that we are into resistance, and I gave you guys this heads up that this would be resistance days ago.
Wait a minute, everyone. We all agree that the crypto market never sleeps, but with countless newsletters out there, how do you choose the best one for you? Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. Let's join Gareth in this video about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and more.
And basically what you have is you have this pivot top, but also if you take the all-time high here, connect it to this high, connect it to this high, this downsloping line is short-term resistance. Now, it's not major resistance. I wouldn't say this is like a massive wall of resistance, but it is a level that may stall price out just a little bit for a little bit of time. Now, as if you're a bull, this is fine, right? I mean, sure, no one wants to see resistance, but resistance is part of investing and trading. So what you're looking for here is you want to see bullish consolidation off of this level for just a few days. I mean, it could be as little as 2 or 3 days. If you get that, it favors a strong breakout to the upside and at least a test of 74,000. Now, if you're a bear on Bitcoin, let's go over the bear case. What would the bears want? The bears want to see a sharp rejection of this level right back to this support level. Once you get back there, then the bears are basically looking for a daily close below there, which would open the floodgates to potentially going all the way down to 52,000. All right, so again, I like to present both sides of it. Which side, again, will ultimately be in favor? Well, per probabilities, the bulls still have control here on the chart. But that's simple TA, and in general, as a technician of the charts, you want to be looking at both sides, and then you make your determination on how you want to trade it or if you want to trade it. You don't have to trade it. Remember, folks, there's nothing wrong with sitting on the sidelines waiting for a better setup. All right, here you have a Solana chart, guys. Solana continues to be just chopping. It's had a little bit of an uptick, but what we find ourselves in, again, you had this kind of sideways channel developing. You broke above it, then you broke below it. We have all these lows here. We hit the high here, so this is resistance up here. Any sort of downside move, you'll have support right in this white trend line. Bears on the side of Solana would want to see a break below this. You break below this, you probably go back to 120 right here. Bulls want to see us attack this upper line here, which is around 200, which also is very close to the all-time high. And then if this can get broken up here and the all-time highs get broken, then it's off to the races. In terms of the bias probability-wise, to be honest, there's really not much of a bias here. It's a neutral. So while Bitcoin is favoring the bulls, Solana is kind of just neutral. It's just hanging out. It's not at least giving me any signals on probability, which is heavily favoring one way or the other. Okay, next up, let's go to gold. We'll talk some probabilities on gold's price action. And basically, gold just continues to do its thing. I mean, it goes down one day, goes up the next day. I mean, you can see red, green, and then today was up a little bit, but it's come back in and is still holding steady. The one thing I'll just make a point on, if you're looking for probabilities on the short term, this is still a bearish chart. Mid to long term, it's still broken out, so it's a bullish chart. And this is another very important point, is that charts can be short-term bearish and long-term or mid-term bullish, while they could be the inverse, right? They could be short-term bullish and long-term mid-term bearish. So just understand time frame actually does matter. Now, looking at the chart here, what do we have? Well, we have a line right but the lows, and basically right here too, right? So you're consolidating. This is that classic bearish pattern of consolidation that we're continuing to watch, and this chart in the short term right now is bearish. Okay?
Robert Kiyosaki predicts Bitcoin will reach $350,000 by August 2024, driven by bullish sentiment and criticism of financial leaders. Kiyosaki acknowledges the prediction is speculative but confident, continues to buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, expecting price increases, encourages cryptocurrency diversification, highlighting the potential for significant gains. A deepfake scam involving Elon Musk has prompted insurers to recognize Bitcoin as a mainstream asset. Bitcoin's mainstream adoption requires proper engagement from insurers. The scam shows a rapid shift in risk due to new fraud types like deepfakes. Insurers should offer policies to protect digital identities, with the potential for lucrative contracts. This scam highlights the need for insurers to adapt and protect digital assets in a digital age.
So basically, this is the pre-market action on the S&P 500 here. Basically, if we zoom out, we can see that in general, it's not that volatile. When you zoom in, it looks volatile, but it's not. Volume today likely going to be a little quieter because, yes, we got the jobless claims numbers, but really what do investors and traders care about? The non-farm payrolls and unemployment report that will come out tomorrow morning. So here's where we closed yesterday right up here. Basically, what does it look like? Sideways chop, right? Really no major bias here up or down. We do have NVIDIA trading up just a little bit on the day, about 1%. The kicker for NVIDIA, though, today, where it currently is trading, it will likely be above that key level that will make it the most valuable company in the world by market cap. And again, that'll take over from Microsoft. It surpassed Apple yesterday, and today, as long as it holds where it is, it likely will take over from Microsoft as the number one. By the way, in terms of where this was a year ago, 2 years ago, incredible meteoric rise. It was one of many semiconductor companies. Now it's zoomed all the way to the biggest market cap in the U.S. markets. All right, so here we have the action. You can see here we had the little bit of a dip on the jobless claims, very small little drop. Just to go over, markets had expected a 220,000 number. Again, these are people filing for unemployment in the past week. The number came in at 229,000. So it's not a huge miss. It's not a hugely higher number, but it is showing the potential for a change in trend. And what do I mean by this? Well, if you go back 2 months ago, the numbers were consistently basically between 205 and 215. All right. Now we've seen a couple weeks ago, it was 231, I believe. Then we kind of went back to 220. Now we're back to 229. There's definitely a little bit of a general uptick in these numbers on a consistent short-term basis. My guess is this continues to rise as we see overall economic conditions weaken. Okay, so again, just a little insight into that data that was released this morning. Very minimal impact as we see right here. Now, quickly, I do want to check in on the 10-year yield. The 10-year yield had 5 consecutive down days in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Small bounce today, maybe a little bit of short covering there on the yield side going into that jobs number tomorrow. I think in general, you look at this bigger wedge pattern, and again, I'm not going to zoom out to see where it starts, but you guys get the point. It consolidates until price is forced to break either down or up. And in this case, it broke down. It's confirmed. So in general, what does this mean? Well, any sort of move back here, that's your shortable level, right? So that would be a retrace to the scene of the crime, the breakdown point for a leg lower. And I still have my price target on the 10-year yield at around 3.9%. The key is most people look at this and they say, oh, when the economy weakens, interest rates will go back to 2% or 1% or even 0 like during COVID. I don't believe that. I think you're going to get sticky interest rates, probably between 3 and 4% on the 10-year, because ultimately inflation is going to remain sticky. Everyone was laughing at me when I said, hey, when we were at 9%, I said, we'll come down to 3%, give or take, but then it's going to get sticky around 3%. What happened? That's exactly what happened. And again, it was just me connecting the dots. It's really just looking at the data, understanding past situations like in the 70s and what ended up happening, and then ultimately concluding what the likely most probable scenario is.
Global liquidity, reaching $94 trillion, is set to boost Bitcoin's bull run, according to recent analysis. Global M2 money supply at $94 trillion, $3 trillion higher than Bitcoin's 2021 peak. Ideal conditions for BTC price increase. $1 billion daily added to Bitcoin by institutional investors. U.S. spot Bitcoin ETF sees strong inflows on June 4. A group of U.S. lawmakers led by Michael McCaul, the House Foreign Affairs Committee chairman, has accused the Nigerian government of wrongfully detaining Tigran Gambaryan, The lawmakers have asked the Biden administration to transfer Gambaryan's case to the Office of Special Presidential Envoy for Hostage of Affairs. Backed by major financial institutions like BlackRock and Citadel Securities, TXSE Group Incorporated has announced its plan to launch the Texas Stock Exchange, TXSE, in Dallas. This new exchange will provide a platform to trade and list public companies and exchange-traded products. With a capital raise of approximately $120 million, TXSE stated that it is poised to become a major player in U.S. equity markets, promoting enhanced competition and accessibility. The president of Ripple Labs has criticized the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC's approach to regulating the crypto sector, emphasizing that the regulator is on a warpath with the industry. She highlighted the inefficiency of the current approach, stating, "This whole dynamic of setting rules through enforcement is really unproductive and not getting us anywhere." If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to Bitcoinzilla for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.